Hi everyone, welcome back to the React Mistake playlist. If you're new here or watching this for the first time, I'm creating a dedicated React Mistake playlist to help developers to avoid some of the most common pitfalls I have seen in code reviews and real-world projects. These mistakes are often made by junior to mid-level developers and usually stem from a lack of understanding of React core concepts. Here's the big question: if you're making these mistakes, do you truly understand React? So, if you want to avoid these errors and help your team write better React code, make sure to follow this playlist. Together, we'll strengthen your React foundations and build confidence in your work. Let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about a super common mistake that almost every React developer makes at some point. It's about state updates and why they don't always behave the way you expect. Have you ever submitted a form in React, tried to clear the input fields or show a success message, and thought, why is not this working? Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'll explain why this happens, how to fix it, and give you a real-world example that you will definitely relate to. Let's start with a realistic example. Imagine you are building a form for creating a post. When the user submits the form, you want send the data to an API, clear the form fields, and show a success message. Here I'm doing the exactly same thing. This is my API to create a post. You can see I'm clearing the form fields and I'm showing a post created success message, right? And here I console log that in line number 32. Now, if you run this code and submit the form, what do you think will happen? The form fields should clear and the success message should appear, right? But here's the catch. If we try to submit the form, let's try to create what is the best way to learn React documentation, for example, right? So now if I click the create post button, okay, I see I got a form data right here and my input fields are cleared. I got a success message here, post created successful. But here in the console, I'm getting the old data, right? And this is something very weird, right? We saw our post created successfully here. So line number 25, we saw the post created successfully. As soon as we got this and we are expecting our title and body, that should clear the form, right? And then once it got clear in line number 32, we are expecting to see that form data could be the empty string, right? Because that's what we have updated here, line number 26, after showing a success message. But here in the console, it still shows the old form data, not the cleared state. So wait, what? Didn't we just clear the form? Why is it showing the old data? So this is where things get interesting. In React, state updates are asynchronous. That means when you call setFormData, React does not update the state immediately. Instead, it schedules the update and re-render the component. So when you log form data, right after setFormData, you are still looking at the old state, that what we saw at line number 32. Now, we'll try to understand how React state update happens. Let me break this down step by step in this diagram in a way that easy for beginner to React developer to understand. Here at the very top, we see form data is an object and name value is old. So this is our starting point. Imagine we have a form where the name field currently contains old as its value. Okay, so here when user clicks the submit button, the form submission triggers. So that means when someone clicks your submit button or hits enter on your form. So here our code calls the setFormData function to update the value. Here our name value is new. But here is the key thing. React does not update the state immediately. Instead, it puts this update in a queue. Here you can see update queued. So we can think of this like a putting a sticky note on React's to-do list saying change name to new letter. So right after calling the setFormData, our code runs the console log. Here we can see, so here we are logging the form data. So here we can see how it shows the name is equal to old. So it is still showing the old data. So this surprises many beginners. Even though you just told React to update the state, the old value is still there. So this happens because React has not processed its to-do list yet. React then processes its queue. So the state is finally updated to the new value. After state is updated, React triggers a re-render of our component. Only now in this new render, old form data show the new value. This is shown at the bottom with new form data and name value is new. So this is why logging form data right after set form data gives you the old value, because the update has not happened yet. Okay, let's talk about why this is a big deal in real-world apps. Imagine you are building a post-creation form for production app. If you try to clear the form fields or show a success message immediately after updating the state, it might not work as expected. For example, the form fields might not clear, confusing the users. The success message might not show up, making the users think the registration failed. So this can lead to a poor user experience and even bugs in your app. So it's important to handle state updates correctly. So now the question is, how do we fix this? So the answer is, don't rely on the state immediately after updating it. Instead, we can use the useEffect hook to perform actions after the state has been updated. Instead of relying on the state immediately after updating it, we now using the useEffect. So inside the dependency, we have added form data and message. Once our message is updated or form data gets cleared, our useEffect will be triggered, because in the dependency we have added form data and message. So once our useEffect triggered, we can get to know what's happened with that, right? So let's try. Can do test body. Let's try to click on the create post button. Cool. We can see post created successfully, our form data gets cleared, and we can see the form data console log here, right? So now we are seeing the empty title and empty body. But previously we are getting the old bill, right? Because we are relying on the state immediately after updating it, right? Now we are depending on the useEffect. So let me clarify what's happening here. We use useEffect to watch the form data and message state, right? Whenever form data or message changes, the effect runs and logs the updated value. This way, you are guaranteed to work with the latest state after React has processed the update. So our problem got solved, right? So let's quickly recap what we have learned today. First, React state updates are asynchronous. Number 2, if you try to use the state immediately after updating it, you will get the old value. Number 3, to handle this, use useEffect to perform actions after the state has been updated. And that's it. I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more React tips and tricks. Let me know in the comments if you encountered this issue before, or if you have other React topics you would like me to cover. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.